Welcome to London's Golden Square, where life is easy and the weather's breezy.
And I'm smelling pretty cheesy. Woo! Dude, giddy up. On this week's Rad, we'll be bringing you the best from the Summer X Games in San Francisco. This time it's skateboarding vert best trick. Mark, you shall witness history in the making.
Yeah, but will it be as good as this week's trick of the week, the 5-0 grind?
We'll have to wait and see. Also, we've got snowboarder extraordinaire Jake Burton as he rides some of the most beautiful terrain on the planet.
Plus we visit Stuart Forder, who's got his own skate park in his back garden and is the creator of this little masterpiece.
Whoa, hey dude, you're messing up my perfect little, nug. We're here in Ipswich for the BMX National Racing Series. Now, I've never been to one of these things, so I'm kind of clueless. So I reckon we should go over there, check it out, and get a clue. We just got mentioned. They just threw props to Rad.
I've got to ask that presenter, is that a fake American accent or a real one?
Fake. How did this get so organized and all these other sports can't?
Good question. We've always been great at running races. We've always run good racing. We've always had good people, and most of the guys that are out there have been doing it years. There's a class for everyone. There's no bench warmers, there's no substitutes. Anybody who wants to take part can. There's a slot for every rider. Girls enjoy it as much as everyone else. We've got an Australian rider here at the moment that's been staying for a while. Her name is Natasha Williams, and she is excellent. She's one of the best riders in the world. And then in some of the younger AMs, you've got Charlie Phillips. In the guys, there's Dylan Clayton. DC is one of the top riders in the world, and Martin Murray is a good rider. Alex Dick, who's a young pro coming in.
Is he your son?
My son. So you watch him too.
Alex Dick. Watch out for Alex Dick.
We pride ourselves, in what we're doing here. We're now bringing ourselves in line with the rest of the world, and I think that people will be looking at us in a couple of years, hopefully.
Mr. Dick.
That's
the raddest last name. These guys are so dang efficient when we're organizing this. They've got these guys ready to go. The other guys are racing. These guys are going to start right now. These guys are all set up. And then check out behind me. They got the cattle. They got the cattle in the pen.
Came over here, I'm competing in the UCI rounds of the European Championships, and I thought I might as well base myself in England and then travel around to all the European races.
Everyone takes the mickey out of me because I'm the fastest postman in the West, but that ain't true.
Tell us about the accidents you guys have had. Anything gnarly?
When I first started riding, I broke my kneecap and took a chip out of it.
I just have to find out why.
That guy got a bit of air. Not much, but it was air.
She's a perfect girl.
Chicks rule, they just do.
She's a perfect girl.
I've won my first moto, I've won my second. I think I'll win my third to take the national.
So who's faster, Liam or Charlie?
It's got to be me.
It's got to be
I'm a
you?
boy, yeah.
Have you guys raced each other before?
Took him out on a corner once and I beat him.
Not too narrow, not too...
Whoa, it says red. That's just so amazing.
Well, that's it for the BMX National Racing Series from Ipswich. And I can easily say it's one of the coolest events I've ever been to. I'm talking age groups from, 6, 7-year-olds to 40-year-old dudes, all racing, and lots of girls too. This is so rad. Hey, we'll see y'all later. Peace.
As you remember last week, I was waiting for my goal to turn up via courier pigeon, but it's still missing, and I suspect an inside job. But I've narrowed it down to these few suspects. So only a few, could take me a couple of days, week. This could take some time, so I'm going to have to make a phone call.
G'day.
Yeah, hello. Is that Aussie Ben?
You bet your bleeding shins it is.
Problem, haven't got any gold. So how do you fancy throwing down a 5-0 or 2 for us?
Struth, no gold. How are kids going to take you seriously?
I know. Are you up for it?
No worries, mate. I'm on it. Let's get gnarly then.
5-0 grind's the back thing and you put it on a ledge, man.
The 5-0 was invented by Dan McGarrett in 1975, and it basically involves going on the back truck and travelling along on the back truck.
What's the weirdest thing you've done a 5-0 on?
Now you're talking. I'd have to say it was a coffin. We found a coffin, so we just like skated it for a bit.
It scratches the urban architecture as you go past it like that. Go like that, and then when you come off the end, it's best to land on 4 wheels and not on the side of the board, otherwise you just stop and then you fall over and you can hurt yourself doing that, so just be careful out there, alright? Shaka bra.
5-0.
Approach the obstacle the same way you did for the 50-50. As you find yourself a foot from the chosen object, aim to be landing on the back truck. It's basically about the same as the 50-50, difference being you need to land more weight towards the back foot, and not too much because you may slip out backwards.
Ollie to pivot can help because it helps you learn to balance on your back truck, and that's what the 5-0 is based on.
Again, trial and error is the only way to gauge the pressure. Grind along merrily on the back truck, feeling like a pro. When you feel the butterage is coming to an end, release a bit of pressure from the tail and hop your body weight off.
Hawaii 5-0 grind. If you do it fast, right? Hawaii 5-0, flip-flops on, you dog in. I'd like to say hello to Don Bryder and I want my kitten back.
Is that enough 5-0 action for you, mate?
Go.
Any luck on the gold front, Cobber?
Yeah, I've narrowed it down to one suspect. Sure, it's him.
So you reckon you'll have your linkage sorted for next week?
I reckon. I mean, how can you skate without a chain? I ask you. Okay, Ben, look to your right.
What's that?
A few weeks ago, we brought you the history of snowboarding. And here he is, the Don himself, my mentor, Jake Burton, carving up some sick terrain in New Zealand.
Green
here at Penshurst Off-Road Club to do some mountain boarding. What's the first thing I need to do before I start mountain boarding?
Okay, the first thing, you want to protect yourself. So you want knee pads, elbow pads and a helmet. This is actually a safety device here. It's called a leash. You put your hand through and hold on. That gives you a little bit of stability as you're riding along. But if you come off the board, it means the board's not going to run off and hit somebody else. When you get on the board, remember that there's a frame running down the middle. You want to bend your knees as much as possible, keeping your back straight, so like sitting in a chair. And then when you want to turn, you basically, without moving your body too much, you just move your feet. Try and keep your weight on your front foot. As soon as you put your weight back, you'll lose control of the front of the board and you'll be off. That was perfect, really good. You seem to have got the hang of that. So we'll move on to something a little bit more difficult.
Right, we're down on the course now and I'm going to try out some harder stuff and see how badly I can hurt myself. So, see you at the bottom. Find out more about mountain boarding, you can check out the RAD website on www.channel5.co.uk. Tune in again to find out what sport we'll be doing next week. William, you will be, won't you? Next up, check out this character. He's built his own skate park in his back garden. Now that takes dedication.
Yeah, and water and mortar and a big old spatula and some
That's
stuff.
That's not funny. Where did we get this guy?
You still forward it?
Well, it depends who's asking, doesn't it?
My name's Stuart Fordett. I live in Colwyn Bay, North Wales. I've been skating for about 10 to 11 years. You've got to be more on your toes around here because the spots aren't handed to you on a plate. You've got to go out of your way to try and find different places, really. You know, look, there's a lot of obscure spots which are in places you just never think of looking, really. About 2 years ago, I was on a dole. I had no prospects or qualifications or anything like this. My mum had a small business making woolen hats and jumpers. I decided to start making some woolly hats just to sell to friends and what have you, see. From doing this, somebody in Liverpool managed to hear about me, and it's just gradually sort of progressed from there, really. I've started a company called Scientist. We started with woolly hats. We started t-shirts after that, which print myself, and then now we're doing sweaters, hoodies, coach jackets, baseball caps.
This is where I do all my work, make my hats and do my printing. I'm making some hats for RAD, which you can see I'm doing the design here on this circa 1980 style computer. That'll be the old dog and bone, wouldn't it? Hello, Scientist.
As I was growing up, I didn't have much money and I tried to travel as much as possible then. So rather than spending it on the newest, freshest clothes and like £70 trainers, I'd prefer to put it back into trying to get about and experience life, really. So I try and pass that philosophy on through my company to offer decent clothes but at a cheap price so you can spend it on things that will actually help you live.
Two-bedroom house.
Never happy customer. A lot of people sort of think it's like a proper big business or whatever, you know, but it's just me. I've done this about 5,000 times. It's insane. This arm's like totally messy and the other one just isn't. And the bleep tells us we're finished. No hands. This is it, the finished product. As you can see, each one is tried and tested. The council came along and trashed the skate park, so the need came along to build something different. All the local skaters here are welcome to use this whenever they want.
I prefer a big, huge park, yeah, but I mean, for what there is around here, there's nothing. I mean, this place is, you know, amazing.
This is the first obstacle I started building, just like a basic block. Pretty easy to make, you know. all these bits and pieces here you're probably finding skips. If you're still at school or whatever, maybe you could go in and ask a teacher if you could do some welding for you. Really easy to make. Pop them outside the front of your house. Mortal-sized objects for mere mortals. If in doubt, use a massive nail. Get some gravel, some sand and some cement. And you just make anything yourself. Just do it. You know, you just get the feel for it. The more practice you get at doing it. Oh, the neighbours think I'm mad.
I was surprised when I seen it.
They just don't get it at all.
I used to skate, you know.
It's a living nightmare. It's terrible, but I'm getting more used to it now. He's been out all night staring at it, trying to smooth it over and going on about it constantly. Well, I like the little skip sort of split kind of one, but I don't know any names because I'm a girl.
This is Indian summer, just turn away and then close the door before the cold gets in again. Close the door before the cold gets in.
Well, I'm not a super ambitious person, but I do, you know, I want to take my life somewhere, so I'm just going to keep on plodding along with the company and skating and just see where it takes me, really.
Chris, what's the time?
It's man. All right, get your stolen goods at stolen prices. One watch for £5, 3 for a tenner. Who wants to buy a hot watch? Not hot as in hot as in hot. I'm talking hot as in hot. Dang, that's some all right piece of kit. I might have to keep these for myself. New watch each day of the week. All right, isn't it? Isn't it like?
The crowd were anxious for Skate Vert Best Trick to get underway. Now this isn't your everyday X Games comp, but rather a jam session, where 5 of the world's most innovative riders push each other to attempt some of the sickest stuff you'll have seen in a long time. I'm talking Andy McDonald, Tony Hawk, Colin McKay, Bob Burnquist, and Bucky Lasky. Bucky landed a sweet frontside 540, but came up empty on a host of 720 to fakie attempts. Andy McDonald produced several tricks with names longer than a long thing, including a fakie 540 varial and a nollie heel flip 360 varial. Bob Burnquist went for some tech-as-you-like stuff, some of which only Bob's brain can comprehend. Unfortunately, on this occasion, he couldn't reconnect feet back to the bent maple plank. He He did, however, hit up a backside 1-foot Smith revert and a switch kickflip Indy in one of his earlier runs. Colin McKay. Oh man, this guy landed so much mental goodness, it's unbelievable. Stamping his seal of ambidextrousness with a frontside kickflip cab and a backside 360 nollie flip. Colin must be commended for max techness. And after he landed a backside tailslide big spin out, just avoiding being thrown by his wooden steed, the crowd thought it couldn't get any better.
Big speed right here, barrel 720.
But step up Mr. Hawk. Warming up with a 720 varial, Tony decided tonight he could spin that extra 180 and pull the 900. A trick he and a handful of other riders have been trying for the past 10 years, but no one has stuck it. We pick up the action on Tony's 7th attempt at the 900.
We got Andy and we got Bob all doing everything to cheer him on, and he's just going to step up to the plate and hit a homer here tonight. I don't know where he's getting this energy. These guys are going on. That's it. Soda pop. Get the movie vibe going. Get him going. Pushing it up. Everybody picture it. Here we go. Feel it.
If it weren't for you people, I would have never made that. Thank you. Thank you. This is the best day of my life. I swear to God.
Now get your pen and paper ready for another competition. This week, we're giving away 10 limited edition, specially handcrafted rad beanies, made for especially by Mr. Stuart Farter.
All you have to do is send us your name and address on a postcard. First 10 out of the bag win.
Send your rad postcards to Beanie Competition, P.O. Box 2075 London, W1A 5SW. That's Beanie Competition, P.O. Box 2075 London, W1A 5SW. All entries must be in by August 15th. Well, that's it for this week's Rad.
All that remains is for me to get in a nice little skate session before I get the train home. Chris, what's the time?
Mark!
I'm going to be late. See you next week.